When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. So if you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
If you wanna battle, it's either that you will or you won't.
You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hey, man!
More Stories Podcast 301. I don't know what the number is, Edward.
You don't know?
Eddie Ifft. What's your middle name, honey?
Charles.
I like that. That's strong.
Edward Charles Ifft III.
Eddie and I do one of these things every time we get together at Eddie Ifft on Twitter and the Talk of Shit podcast, of course. You and I always do this thing where we start talking and we both have to tell each other, don't save it for air.
Yeah, because we always say the good stuff beforehand, and now we have nothing to say, except that I'm in Chicago at the Laugh Factory, May 21st, 22nd.
Slow that down, honey.
May 21st, 22nd, I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Chicago.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you like Chicago? I never really.
First time in the market.
If you want to help Eddie, do you get one a door?
Yeah, it's a total
bonus
door deal. It's a total
so it doesn't matter what
I'm
night.
Screwed.
No, you're not.
I don't know.
That's the thing. You do well, and then they invite you back because they're like, "Man, when Eddie Ifft was here, it was great."
Yeah,
because I'm not going to Chicago.
I'm there
so I
Memorial
send
Day
you.
weekend.
Oh, you're fucked.
Yeah, I know.
I once booked Wise Guys in Salt Lake City.
How'd you go there? I don't understand why comics go there.
It's a good little weird room. And
Are you allowed to be
it.
dirty?
Yeah.
With
super
Mormons.
counterculture. No, super counter.
None of the Mormons come.
Don't you ever see SLC Punk, like the documentary?
No.
It's great. Matthew Lillard, really good movie.
It's like the Amish on Rumpelstiltskin.
No, they're just like you and I. You know, the Mormons are great, buddy.
What's that called when the Amish go
I like
away?
You think the Mormons are in fucking teepees.
They're just like Amish or Hasids. They're weird.
Do they come out? Don't they have to put something over their privates when they leave their teepee?
They put on their magical underpants and
that's cool.
Bang their 7, 8 wives.
Here's the deal. Let me close this garage. Yeah, no, I went there. I was doing Denver. The sound you're about to hear is a garage door closing. Exciting. I went to. I'll say it like this so you can hear me. There it is. Fake
That's
Mustache
real.
Studios.
That's what people like about podcasts. They want to know we're in a garage. They want to hear the garage.
They
did. Know that you have rose petals all over your driveway.
You like that?
That is the gayest thing I've ever seen.
Well, it'd be gay if I had a gay guy and I was blowing him.
If you lived with a man and I came over here and you guys were just roommates, and the rose petals were on the ground,
and you're like, "Wow, that's pretty gay." And I take his cock out of my mouth and I go, "Why is that gay? What's gay about that? Look what I'm doing right now. Listen, I'm going to Denver." And I didn't want to do just 1 week on the road, so I talked to guy Keith Stubbs, Wise Guys.
Yep.
You would like it. I go, let me do it. He goes, it's Memorial Day weekend, brother. I'll take a bath. I can't. I go, what? Every fucking Mormon's going down to the river this weekend? People stay home. Guess what? Every Mormon
went down to the river. That's a new song.
Every Mormon goes Springsteen's newest. So yeah, the guy really took a bath, and I felt so bad because I talked him into the date. And
my only hope is that Chicago is one of those cities where people go to the city hey, let's go to Chicago for
it's
Memorial
not a big beach
Day.
town. And
right, they got a lake. It's right there. It's dirty.
If you live in a town where the lake is your beach, you fascinate Eddie and I because we live right on the Pacific Ocean.
I can never go back. I can never go anywhere near another place that doesn't have a coastline.
Let me tell you about my Amazon banner at jmohr.com. Edward Charles Ifft. New dad. We're going to get down. The third, really?
Yep. And I was going to name the fourth just because my dad gave me a guilt trip.
And your wife said,
and I had a daughter. I had the boy name. She had the girl name.
Is your daughter's name Jennifer DeChristopher?
No.
Because that's my Amazon banner person.
Is it?
If you want to help this podcast,
what'd they buy?
Hey, go to my website. Take Amazon off your toolbar on your website. Clear your cookies, I'm told. I don't know what any of this means. Go to jmohr.com. Hit the Amazon banner. Buy stuff. Email me what you bought. Hey, Jay. Jennifer DeChristopher. Hi, Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for all the great podcasts and all your movies. You're welcome. I placed an order today with Amazon, and I finally remembered to use your banner. That girl. I ordered cupcake boxes and inserts, cloud cutters for fondant decorations, and a set of animal cookie cutters.
Such a difference between your fans and mine.
All these are from my cupcake and specialty cake shop, the Little Cake Bakehouse in New Jersey. Hey, everybody in Jersey, hit up the Little Cake Bakehouse. Jennifer DeChristopher. I live in Rockaway, not too far from where you grew up. Thanks again for all the laughs. I'm pulling for Uncle Dan, too. He seems like such a beautiful soul, and I hope he makes a full recovery. I'm currently going through my own long-term physical therapy, and as bad as it is, I can't imagine what he's going through. Love and prayers, Jennifer. Jennifer, I love you, and my wife loves you very much. We love you so much. Thank you very much.
You have such nice fans. That was such a nice...
I have...
My fan would be like, I just bought 4 feet of PVC pipe to make a bomb, and...
talking shit fans?
Yeah, and I've got an AR-15.
Got you a bus.
Yeah, they did.
We got to talk about this before we crack into your newfound parenthood, which I think I know from having a baby, you sitting in my garage on a Saturday, we might as well be at like in Vail for 2 weeks.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I am on vacation right now.
Yeah, I believe me, buddy.
Even with my popped hamstring. Popped a hamstring.
You popped a hammy? There goes your combine.
You ever popped a hamstring?
No, I tore. Oh no, I didn't tear it. I pulled a quad so bad, and the pain was so bad, I actually vomited.
It's kind of like it's kind of like the kid in Ferguson when he got shot. That's what it feels like.
I think it's exactly.
It's what it feels.
That's
like.
what I love about you is your analogies are so right on. When you pull a hamstring, it's like being shot unarmed by a police officer in Missouri.
It's exactly what it felt.
Did you know Ferguson's my middle name?
Is it?
Yeah.
I did the whole pull up. You know, I was running yesterday doing hundreds, and why am I doing hundreds? Why am I
staying in shape?
But why am I sprinting?
No, but you know what's weird is 4 or 5 years ago, I was sprinting. I was doing Sprint 8 training down here at the Santa Monica High School football field, and you go, watch out, man, you'll pop a hammy. And I never crossed my mind again. And then here you are with your stupid hammy.
I jogged a lap, and then I said, and then I'll stretch for a half hour. For some reason, I'm running with a 23-year-old kid. He goes, where are we going to start? I go, over there. I walk right to the starting line, run the first one. Fine. Second one, about halfway down, I went, oh, and just pulled up and was like, I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
And now I won't be doing anything for about...
It says my connection is too poor. Can you figure this out? Do you know how to Periscope?
What's your connection?
I don't know. It's in the house. I got bad Wi-Fi in my house. But
if
your
you
fans...
have bad Wi-Fi, you can't do it.
All right, forget it.
Oh, yeah, it says start broadcast.
Okay, start broadcast. Your fans got you 60... I got it, Corey. Oh, here, you could do
You're
it.
on.
Here. I know, but we want to read the comments, don't we? That's the best part. Your fans... Let's do this first. Eddie Ifft podcast, Talking Shit with Eddie Ifft.
Hi.
You got a bus, $60,000.
Yeah, and
you hollowed out the bus, and you're going to go all across the country whenever you feel like it, and it's like a mobile recording studio.
The audio, video recording studio.
I think that's fascinating.
There's 5 cameras in it.
My aunt died in an apartment fire, and I'm begging people. We're up to like $8,000. But I'm glad you have a bus.
Just kidding.
What'd you say?
That's not a good charity.
That's not a good charity. Your dead aunt.
No, I said that when
my aunt, who was special,
when we were getting the money,
couldn't get out of the bed and get her act together. Uncle Dan, real quick. Uncle Dan's on ICU. He's minute to minute for the next 2 months because his burns were so bad, and he would be fine, but he kept running back into the apartment to try to save my aunt, who's special's life. My aunt Lori, who's married to Uncle Dan, so it's 2 aunts and an uncle. Oh. 2 of them are my wife's blood, and Uncle Dan married in. You with me?
Yes.
Aunt Lori wasn't there because she was out getting cupcakes because the next day was Aunt Christie's birthday party. Okay. So she died happy that day. So I have a GoFundMe at jmohr.com. Please go there. Put in some money. Put in $50, $20, $10. Eddie Ifft, you are the master. You got $60,000 for a bus.
Here's what I'm going to explain, and Kevin and Bean did this very well when I was asking. A lot of people look at you and think, Jay Mohr, you're a movie star, you're a stand-up comedian, you live this great life. Why can't you pay the money yourself? And they don't get it.
Yeah, they don't realize that me and my wife put her up in a hotel for the last month because she has no place to live.
People don't understand that everybody lives, no matter how much money you have, you're living month to month, whatever it is, week to week. And things like this, it's every time somebody now puts up a chair, like which I will go donate, Whenever I see like somebody's asked for something, I know how hard it is, and I know once you want to raise money for something, you take it personally. Where you're like, I really want to do this. I really want to help them, and the effort you're putting in is more than the money you would put in. Because it would be kind of easy for you to write a check. It would hurt, you got to write, but it's the effort that you're putting in to make the money. Is more than putting the money in. So you're also getting other people involved. And I don't want to sound cheesy, but you do feel good. Like I feel good when I go into anyone's Kickstarter and they raise the money and it's successful.
Yeah. Here's the thing too, and I'm appealing to the middle class, the workers of the country, because their insurance payout was so ridiculous, and it's just amazing. Like we all have like fire insurance, earthquake insurance, flood insurance, and then their apartment is gone.
It's a scam.
It's cinders and ashes. It's nothing. There's nothing. All the possessions they ever owned, gone. And then like an insurance company goes, hey, here's $24,000 for the rest of your fucking life. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like I got to go get a new place to live. I got to buy furniture.
It's a giant scam.
I have to buy soap, towels.
If you're rich,
sprinklers.
If you're rich, you can
Lots
buy
of sprinklers.
really good insurance. If you're poor, the insurance you have is probably my dad's in the insurance business. Your insurance is probably horrendous, and it doesn't protect you like you think it does, and it says it does, but they're going to fight you all along the way. They're going to give you
the middle class takes it right in the ass.
It's a total scam.
I like what Carlin said about he goes, the rich do the least amount of work, they get all the most amount of money. The middle class do all the work for very little bit of money, and the poor is there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. But the best tag goes, make sure they keep showing up at all those jobs. And he says jobs like cancer, like ugh, like jobs.
Well, as far as the insurance goes, that won't do anything.
So how do we raise more money for this GoFundMe? Because you had a 24-hour podcast.
I did a 24-hour podcast.
I remember watching this. It was amazing.
It was a train wreck. It was an absolute
Not really. You raised $60,000 for a bus.
But people were doing
How many people died in a fire on this bus?
Well, in the future, there will be a lot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are definitely going to be deaths. We already wrecked it yesterday.
Where were you?
We were meeting with a producer because it's going to hopefully be a TV show. We're meeting with a producer somewhere down in Marina Del Rey. I don't bring the generator with gas. I bring the wrong generator, so we can't even start it up.
Is it a grill?
Machete, who you know, Ernie, Machete goes, I saw an outlet over by that building. I'm going to go park it under the building. Just bring the producer over. He can come in and see the bus. So he's pulling the bus up, and I'm telling the producer about, like, the guys that work for me are all called Mongs. I call them the Montourage. And they're just
you used to have a Mong cast and the whole thing. Yeah.
I go,
I know a lot about you, Eddie.
So I'm like, these guys are idiots. They're idiots. And I'm like, you'll see. Sure enough, I see Ernie as he's pulling the bus up to plug it in. There's a roof that comes over the building, and the bus just takes the roof off. And I'm sitting there going, oh. Well,
we should get out of here.
No.
Yeah.
So we plug in, and we're sitting there because it's like back in this old place where I'm like, no one will see this.
You got to worry about power lines usually, probably more than roofs. My grandfather had a coach.
So we're in the bus. I'm showing the producer everything. This woman comes out, that's like a cleaner there, and she starts kind of yelling at us. And I go, don't worry, Machete's got it. He's real cool about shit like this. Because he is. He'll park in somebody's parking spot, and we'll be eating lunch. And they'll come in, they'll be like, you're in my spot. And he'll be like, all right, as soon as I finish, I'll come out and move. Nothing phases him. So he goes out to talk to her, and then like the handyman comes out, and all of a sudden he gets on the bus while we're all standing on it. He starts driving. He goes, we got to get the fuck out of here. The cops are coming.
Because of the bingo bus.
Yeah. So it will.
You said to me off mic, and we were like, we'll save it for it. How many people we got in the Periscope? 156, I'm going to say.
I bet more.
140.
Yeah. Comments?
That's good.
How many forehead comments we got?
None.
Any
really?
But people want to see close-ups of the picture.
There's, I see.
Go ahead, walk around.
They want
to see inside Fake Mustache Studios?
They also want you to do Pesci.
Hey, you stuttering fucking prick, you. You know, Nick Swartzen was supposed to do the podcast Thursday, and he's canceled 8 times.
Yeah, it's like Nick. He just did mine, though, 2 weeks ago.
Well, good. I'm happy for you guys.
My bus goes to them.
He says, how about Wednesday I do the pod? Let's just lock in Wednesday right now on a text. I go, okay, but will you... I don't know how to do a screen grab on my phone, but I would have, and I would have tweeted it.
Yeah.
I go, okay, but you're going to show up. You're not going to rip my fucking heart out, are you? And he goes, don't be a dick. I'm going to be there. the day of, he goes, hey, I got Clipper tickets. I'm going to go support my boy JJ Redick, so we'll move it. And I go, I knew you were going to cancel anyway. I'm sure there's going to be people there way more famous than me, and you'll be on time for them, and you'll have a great time. And he goes, don't be an ass. I'm not a fame whore. And I go, then why'd you put JJ Redick in your text? You could have just said,
what he said.
You could have just put Clippers Game 6.
I'm glad you called him out because
I tweeted, my friend Nick Swartzen canceled more stories for a world record 8th time to go see the Clippers. Go Clippers! ! Go Nick! And then I put, seriously, Nick, keep going. And my wife's like, you can't have him back because he's just going to you're going to make yourself crazy. Like you're Charlie Brown hitting a football.
I hate to say this, but I'm glad this happens to you because I thought it just happened to me.
No, he cancels unless he sees somebody famous.
No,
and yeah, I'm talking shit about my friend.
But
I fucking had it.
You're on a much bigger level than me, and it still happens to you.
You raised $60,000 for a bus. I got dead family members. I'm at 8. I'm locked. Why am I secretive? No, I don't want to know screen grabs. Yeah. Let's talk about this instead. Right. You said to me outside, you're like the most secretive guy, and nobody knows these things about you. And then we were tripping out before we started recording. I said, my wife is the one actually that pointed this out to me. I have more reputations about me that are completely not true when you get to know me.
Because you're secretive.
All right. When my wife first met me, like hair and makeup people were like, wait a minute, you're going out with Jay Whore?
Wow.
Be careful. And I'm like, what? Like, all I used to do is smoke pot and go back to the hotel and jerk off and then watch SportsCenter.
How many women do you sleep with in your life?
I have no idea, but not a lot because I always like sleep more.
Like what's not a lot?
I don't.
Like,
I honestly don't know. But you have to keep in mind, I haven't slept with anyone except my wife in 10 years. So like, I'm gone.
So more than 100?
Oh no way, not even close.
That's so funny because
you fucked more than
I'm a dirty whore. I was a horrible human being.
But you said
horrible human being.
Like people think I steal, right? And people think I'm just a flat out asshole.
You had that one instance.
Well, it had a lot of legs because it was the head of the snake. It was the top of the totem pole that said it. That I'm not going to say anything, whatever. And a person I admire and like. But you said, why am I secretive?
Here's why you're secretive. And I'm getting like this.
I got
a problem.
Rose petals on my driveway and a gay guy upstairs. It's true.
And you never really have. When I first started in New York, it was like a celebrity sighting seeing Jay Mohr. Whereas David Tell was like your best friend.
It's all news to me.
Yeah.
What?
Because when you came in the clubs, you had movie credits. Whenever somebody had movie credits, they were a movie star. But if they had movie credits and they sat down next to you every day, they weren't a movie star anymore. So like Judah Friedlander, who has 1 million movies, is not a movie star. Judah sits down and eats falafel next to me. All these guys, with TV shows and everything, but
once
you broke through
we're
the
hanging
barrier,
out.
No. But you didn't all along, and we're hanging out in your house, in your garage.
We were hanging out in Venice. On a set of a movie I was making.
Exactly. You're not.
I go, hey Eddie, I'm filming a movie.
Come
down the street from your house. Come hang out with me in my movie trailer.
Yep.
Does that make me a
and
jerk?
Then my dog bit somebody, and I got kicked off the set.
And I fought for you. I'm like, come on. That dog, and I actually said that's when the homeless guy was selling homeless man signs, and bum be gone. Like he had like all these little sayings.
I bought one that said, "I need a bus." Donate here.
140.
No, 90.
All right, let's kill that.
How much have the donations gone up to?
We don't know. Go to jmohr.com and hit that GoFundMe and. Bye, guys.
People
we love
also,
you on
when it comes to
bye.
Okay. When it comes back, go back to your donations for a second.
Oh.
I just want people to go take a pin and hold a pin over a lighter, and then take the pin and just put it on or like a paper clip and put it on your skin and burn your skin and see how bad that hurts, and then imagine having that over your whole body, because that is my
That's what happened because my Uncle Dan is...
That's my Achilles heel. When I think about
his
people
back,
burn victims,
his arms,
there's nothing more painful in this entire world.
No, because it's all delayed.
It's so painful for anyone.
It's like it needs to be translated. It is like a weird thing. You're right.
I can't imagine that pain.
You wake up, you're burnt, you're this, and then it's like 2 weeks later, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because they probably haven't.
That's the first time your body isn't in shock.
Yeah, in shock. And there's also they've come up with a new pain pill.
Listen, I want to hear about this pain pill, and we're going to talk about me being secretive and Eddie being a new parent. Listen to these commercials first.
2 days ago, Jeff McDonald posted the following. Just watched the sunrise from above the clouds. So stoked. Jeff got 19 likes and 7 comments. Not bad, Jeff. Geico has a comment to add that may make you even more stoked. In just 15 minutes, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance by switching to Geico. And if that doesn't put your head above the clouds, you'll have the extra money to scale a peak that will. Hashtag on cloud 9. Hashtag savings.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
All right. New pain pill burns.
New pain pill I was reading about that's like
at Eddie Ifft.
It's like 1,000 times
Chicago.
stronger.
When?
May 21st.
Laugh Factory, 22nd. May 21st.
22nd.
Just take care of that first night. That's what I do.
Really?
Like Portland, I'm at Helium Comedy Club June 18th. That's a Thursday. I tell all young comics, anybody that ever opens for me, I go, what's the most important night of the week? They all say Saturday. I go, no. A chimpanzee could dress like a bellhop, and you put him out here. Nobody knows him, but they're going to find out once. It's sold out already.
Yeah.
Thursday. It's the only night of the week that you get to go to work the next day and tell everybody at work, like brag.
Good idea.
Where you were the night before.
Smart guy.
What happened last night? Man, we saw Jay Mohr in concert. It was like, I'm so fucking hungover. And then we went big after that. So now you got an office building, and that's 300, or if it's a club, or if it's whatever, 400, 500 people at all different works. Friday and Saturday night, they just go home like they're sitting in their driveway with their family. They're not like, hey, son, guess what I did last night?
That's why Australia.
Your mom blew me in the parking lot of a Jay Mohr show. Australia.
When I tour, the only time we ever comp is the very first night. And we pack it. We always make sure whatever venue I'm doing. Yeah. Nothing's better than word of mouth.
More powerful than word on the street.
Yeah.
It was an old. I was watching somebody went back in the day, like in the neighborhood. It was like one of the Westies was like, word on the streets. It's better than the newspaper, better than the radio. And I go, why? He goes, because word on the street is word on the street. He goes, look, you could read in the newspaper that there's weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They didn't find shit. But let me tell you something. If you go to high school and they say, hey, man, Chauncey's looking for you, guess what? That motherfucker's looking for you. And everybody knows it before you even fucking got there. And I was like, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Word on the street is word on the street. Eddie Ifft, why am I secretive? I feel like Marin. Let's talk more about me.
I was just noticing that on Norm Macdonald's podcast, how he said at one point, he goes, I'm going to tell a story, but I want to tell a story, but this is not about me. And I was like, wow, that's so good, because all I do is tell stories about me on my own podcast.
The name of that people, when people heckle or criticize, I'm like, well, it's more stories.
Yeah. These are your stories.
But you have stories about me being secretive.
Okay, so you're secretive.
You have a story about me.
So you're
Jay Whore.
You're very hard to. You're not accessible. You've never been accessible. I mean, I didn't know you. I came into New York about 97, 98, I think, is when I started in New York, and you were kind of on your way out already. What year did you do Jerry Maguire?
96. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were already you were doing big movies, and I mean, I kind of thought that would happen to me. I thought I'll do movies, and then I'll kind of tap out where I'll be on a different level than everyone else. I won't be hanging out in clubs, because I thought I'll be hanging out in nightclubs with like models and superstars and stuff like that. And then I just became so ingrained in the comedy world. I'm like, nah, these are my friends. This is where I'm gonna be.
Got the whole Barry Katz is the one that told me when you do. I just farted. A nice song. Yeah, Barry Katz told me, he goes, because when I did hang, I used to drink a lot. I haven't drank in so long.
Yeah.
It's 98. Okay. Suicide King's rap party was the last time I drank. And Barry
directed by
Peter O'Fallon, our guy.
Yeah, from Legit.
Yes, sir. And Barry said to me, because I used to drink so much, and I'd always say, as Barry would say, that one extra sentence that gets you in trouble. And I would piss everybody off, or I'd act like a dick and wind up fighting or fucking getting into it. And Barry goes, what you do? You go do your set, you blow the fucking walls off the place, and then you go the fuck home.
That is good advice, because I did the opposite. I would do that, and then I would go do the extra. I'd drink and then say the thing, and everyone's sensitive, and I found out I hurt everyone's feelings.
Why are they all such pussies?
I don't know. I
have the same thing in common, where you and I will walk up to like a group of comics at like a dinner table at a comedy club and go, "Look at this sorry said bunch of motherfuckers." Like, obviously we're fucking goofing off.
I can't believe how many people
And
have
then
told
a
me
year
years later,
on a podcast.
Yep.
I met like Doug Stanhope called me a cunt on Rogan because once at the fucking Comedy Store I said, "Nice car." I'm like, Stanhope, you're supposed to be the fucking guy that holding a torch for Bill Hicks's Next Generation in the relay of brilliant comics. You know what, Stanhope? You're a fucking cunt, and I think you suck and you're overrated. Fucking, why don't you stop drinking and do a little more writing, and you wouldn't be doing bars in fucking Bisbane.
I'm a big Stanhope fan.
Fuck
I'm a
him.
huge Stanhope fan.
I'd be a fan of his too if, like, behind my how am I on a topic? Why am I a topic?
But I can see that you coming in and you go, "Nice car." That would hurt.
The last time I saw the guy, I was doing shots with him and his mom.
Oh, I was going to say
at the Melrose Improv,
because he is a sweet guy.
Hold on, but that puts us at like 95. That's how long ago. Because I was drinking.
Okay.
So like it's me, him, and his mom fucking just getting hammered.
Then maybe he felt like and this is what happens to me. Maybe he felt like you guys weren't good enough friends for you to say "nice car," whereas. Like, if you said it to me, I would laugh because we're closer. Because here, I've done it. One of my friends, I went on stage at the Improv.
This guy's supposed to be Bill Hicks. Everyone's like, fucking Stanhope is Bill Hicks.
If
like,
you said it to me.
You ask any comic, name your top 5 comics right now, I'm going to say 65% of those comics, Stanhope's between 3 and 5.
Yep.
Well, then, fuck, you think Bill Hicks gives a fuck? No, because he's dead.
No, but we're all sensitive.
Nice car?
I do the same shit.
Hey, your baby's fucking cross-eyed. That's something you say, go fuck
I'm worried
yourself.
that she
I know I got a
is.
cross-eyed baby. Leave me alone. Nice car's like a layup.
Why
of
did
nothing.
you? Have you seen her pictures?
Being a parent.
No, don't change the subject
go
yet.
ahead.
I want to get to this because I've done the same thing. I said to a comic, and way worse. I was on stage and I was hosting my own show with all the fans were mine at the Improv, and I said, "Hey, we got a great show tonight." I go, "Some of the comics are amazing." I go, "Some of them suck," and I go, "Some of them," and I'm clearly joking. I go,
layup.
and then I go, "I'm just joking." I put on really funny comics tonight. I go, I go, "That's why I didn't put on so-and-so." And he was sitting in there in the crowd. And I go, I didn't put him on. And I go, because everybody's really funny, except for, and I kept saying his name.
Was he on this?
He's sitting in the audience.
Oh, he wasn't on the.
He wasn't on the.
See,
lineup.
I think it'd be funny, like if the guy was actually doing a set, I would hit that guy.
But this was more fun to hit him than he was in the. And he's my friend, and he's one of the funniest guys in the world. And he hates that I would say.
You're not going to say his name? I just called Doug Stanhope.
No. I don't want to do it because he's sensitive.
I just fucking called Stanhope out. Finally, this has been
Stanhope has a
years.
massive career. This guy doesn't.
Really?
And so that's what it was. He was like, "I'm trying to make it in this business."
Stanhope's banging out those one-nighters and
Stanhope's going to be a legacy. I mean, he is a legacy that people are going to know. He's going to be a legend.
Can I tell you something about Doug Stanhope? Every time he's ever been on television, it's on my goddamn DVR. You know why? Because I watch him do stand-up and I go, this is fascinating. I'm watching somebody that wrote well, and I'm watching them like bring it out. And I can't write as well as this person writes. That's why my wife writes my fucking act, because she's smarter than me. And Stanhope's a guy that I watch. So like, just the fact that he's on some podcast and like it was a 14-year-old fucking 18 now.
Yeah, but I've had people say shit to me that like, it's weird. Like, Aziz pissed me off. Aziz said something to me one night. It just fucking got under my skin. I was sitting at the Comedy Cellar, and Esty said to Aziz, she's like, "Oh, yeah, Eddie just got married, and he just did shows in India." And he went, "You went to India?" He goes, "You did shows in India?" He goes, "I haven't even done shows in India yet." And I took it as though, because I can get sense, I took it as though he was saying, I'm so famous and successful. They haven't sent me. Comedy Central sent you. They didn't send me.
Right.
And what he was saying was like, he was joking, like, I'm Indian. I haven't performed in India.
Yeah.
But I looked at him. I was like, oh, do you have to fucking do everything? Like, my snapback was.
Yeah.
And
him and Joel McHale, if those two died, 40 comics would get work.
Well, you also have to add Kevin Hart and who else into that equation?
That's black guys.
Hannibal.
That's Hannibal, but that's a separate whole cult life.
I had Hannibal on my show the other night, and I was telling him, I go, "You're the accessible."
Hannibal Lecter, we're talking about.
You're the accessible black
comic.
Guy. What? Hannibal's the accessible black guy. He's the black guy that Hollywood's not afraid of. They're like,
so he's not Jay Mohr. He hangs.
He hangs. Hannibal is a good hanger.
But the whole conversation started because you said you lost weight. I go, yeah. The reason I started losing weight was because I was smoking, but now I quit smoking, and I'm afraid of getting like fat. So I'm just banging out the weights in the garage. And you're like,
you look good.
You're so secretive.
You are secretive.
How is that secretive?
Why can't you go to the gym with a bunch of buddies and hang out?
Because it takes an extra hour out of my day. I could just come downstairs and literally with no shoes on in my pajamas do flies and fucking press.
I do the same thing in my garage.
Do the whole thing. And skull crushers and push-ups and bang them out.
I have a whole CrossFit gym in my garage.
Yeah. I do. You would think I was in like the 1950s.
Yeah,
I do
I know what
push-ups
you're
and
doing.
curls and I fucking get in my truck and I go home.
I can just
How about
picture,
push-ups works every goddamn thing in your body?
I picture you hanging a side of beef and punching it in your garage. You are old school.
To prep for my big fight against
with
Doug
your
Stanhope.
pinky ring.
This is my mother-in-law's. I got it.
But I like that about you, that you call out big names like stand-up. You called out Louis.
You know, here's the thing.
Like,
I never
good.
called out stand-up before. I always kept it under my hat. But it's like a thing. Every time I would watch, we'll just say it. You and I know this. So we'll let people behind the curtain. Every time Joe Rogan, streams his podcast.
Right.
And I've never said anything but like A+ glowing things about Joe Rogan. I always go, he is the Vin Scully of fighting. No one's better at what they do than Joe Rogan. And that's podcast, stand-up comedy, and the announcing. And then when I go on, I used to watch his podcast, and I just kept coming. This is obviously 2.5 years ago. I'm not holding on to it. It's just something that came up organically, you and I. And it would be like, I know Al Madrigal doesn't like him. Like Joey Diaz would like chime in, and I'm like, wait, they're talking about me again? So every time I would watch, they would talk about somebody that doesn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the stand-up thing. And then I just like, you know what? How about I stop watching? And the whole thing with fucking Bert and all that shit.
Right.
I'm like, why am I fucking bothering everybody? If I don't hang out, why do I travel so well if I never travel anywhere?
Because if you don't hang out, like if you hung out,
I don't go anywhere. I don't bother anybody.
If you hung out,
I support comics constantly.
You do, and you've always been good to me. But there's something weird about the hanging out. Like Rogan hangs out. You go to the comedy store, he's there, he's hanging out, he's friends with everyone. You don't hang out. You never hang out. And I'm getting like that, and a lot of it has to do with having a family. I got a wife and kid. I live way up in the middle of, that way.
Oh, would you go Calabasas?
Right between Malibu and Calabasas.
County line?
No.
You don't want to say it?
No. I'm about
sorry.
right by Pepperdine. I'm right up the canyon.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. I go hiking and I surf every day, and I live my life, and I love my life. And so it's hard to go hang out in a comedy club. I'd rather be home with my wife and my baby.
Yeah.
And so, but
that is the hang.
But even when you didn't have a wife, you weren't a hanger-outer. You went home.
Yeah.
Because you got a mouth on you and you're a troublemaker, and Barry told you to stay away from it. And Barry should have told me to do that.
But now that I'm not going out, I mean, we're going on, 12 years not going out, not hanging out.
Yeah.
Married. I don't fucking look. I've never looked at a woman twice.
Do you go to
decade.
events? Do you go to events?
No.
See, you should.
I don't want to.
But you should. It's good for your business. It's good for your sanity. It's good
Everybody
for
wants you to golf.
Oh, fuck golf.
And I'm like, I'm not golf.
Golf's gay.
It's not gay.
Gay
Everything
in not
is
the
gay.
cool gay way. Not like the
you know
ass
what's
fucking
gay?
cool
Guys
way.
blowing guys is gay.
That's gay. That's the cool gay.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
it is
I mean
fucking
the
cool.
gay that's like gay guys going, that's gay. Like gay guys see golf and go, that's gay.
How does a guy like Eddie Ifft?
Golfers,
you are an angry
guy. Gay guys look at golfers and go, those guys wouldn't even suck a cock. That's how gay it is.
Do you know why I started smoking?
Because you wanted to suck a cock.
Yes.
Really?
I must be. Let me let this dog, and she's making us stay. Oh, you know what? Let's keep them, and then we'll
I like
periscope
the
with puppies
dogs.
later. Here's the thing. You are
not that funny.
The reason? No, you're fucking hilarious. The reason I only started smoking 2 years ago.
Oh, you just started? That's part of your secretive. Your tattoos. You're secretive. You're fucking.
I have a giraffe on my arm.
Why?
My grandfather, my father's father, Jack Mohr, he was a band leader in the day. Jack Mohr in the hi-hats. He ran for Senate and lost. He was president of Revlon in the 50s. He was a big deal. He was a player, man.
Right.
He was cool. And he always had giraffes in Upper Montclair, New Jersey, and they had this beautiful room overlooking the Manhattan skyline from the hill in Upper Montclair, New Jersey. And he had like giraffes, like this one over here you see over your shoulder, and like gifts.
Well, I thought you meant he had like giraffes,
No, that would be
tigers and lions.
Yeah, well, that was when I was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, he always but like John Wayne, like when you met Jack Moore, like you bring him a giraffe. It was just like an
okay.
Ray Bolger, Jane Mansfield, like there was giraffes from all these famous Hollywood elite.
I have the same thing. People do that with me. They bring Corona.
Corona?
Yeah.
You like Corona?
I like Corona.
You know, I haven't drank in whatever long years.
But you'll have a Corona with me.
If you blindfolded me, I would get 18 out of 20 beers. Right?
Really?
I know what a Corona, like right now I know what Corona tastes like.
So I want to hear about more of Jack Moore.
So Jack Moore was in his hospital bed with awful, terrible, terrible dementia. And we were just taking turns watching him, waiting for him to die because he didn't know where he was, what town, anything. And then I'm watching him and he opens his eyes and goes, JJ, do you know why I collect giraffes? Like completely fucking lucid. I go, no, Pop-Pop. He goes, a giraffe has to stick its neck out for what it believes in. And if you're going into show business head first, like I know you're going into show business. I've been doing stand-up like 4 years. He goes, you're going to have to put your neck out there a lot. You can always live with the decision if you put your neck on the line. Even if you're wrong, you went for the high fruit, not the low fruit. Stick your neck out for what you believe in. Respect will always outlast cash. Okay? I said, okay. And then literally like, bleh, like drooling. Like he just snapped into it, told me that. And then when he died, I got the giraffe tattooed. And then when I was doing movies, they'd go, here's $500,000 to do 1-800, call ATT. Remember all those collect calls?
Yeah, and you said no.
I said, fuck yeah. And then I looked at the tattoo and I was like, I can't.
No.
And they get like David Arquette and Carrot Top.
Yeah.
And you look back and you go, oh, you know what? I had a divorce, so she would have had that money anyway. So it all worked out.
Oh, that's good. That's a good thing. I'm glad.
But now, when you have a child,
yeah, you're like, I'll take that commercial.
Just give me the fucking money.
Yeah.
And you know this now.
Yeah.
So there's nothing secretive about like how tattoos.
There are
secretive.
places where I draw the line, though. Still, I mean, money-wise, that I go, nope.
I won't do Hooters. Just asked me to do a read on my radio show.
I just won't do anything that's going to hurt people.
I wouldn't hurt people.
Like anything that I believe is like bad for people that'll hurt them, that I'm questioning or think.
Eddie Ifft, I'm here to talk to you about AIDS. If you or a loved one want AIDS, just call this number
1-800-MAGIC Johnson.
He doesn't have it anymore. There was a photo on the internet of him giving blood.
Shut up. Well, I think it's a giant conspiracy anyway. Go. What's the?
You can't glance over.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Conspiracy.
We're on too many tangents. I want to go through the tattoos. I will.
Okay,
I will.
Okay, my right forearm. When my wife. All right. First of all, I got my wife. My life. That's her handwriting from when she was a little girl from like homework. People go like, your tattoo artist fucking sucks. I'm like, no, that's a 9-year-old Nikki Cox's handwriting. Okay. I like it. And the stars are me, her, and our son Meredith Daniel.
Okay.
Why'd you name your son Meredith? That's my father-in-law's name. Meredith Wilson wrote The Music Man. It's very Southern. And people go, he's going to get beat up. Really? He's 4 years old and he's fucking taller than Brad Williams. Trust me, he's going to be fine.
There's also, if you read parentology, they say to give your kids fucked up names because they get their self-esteem. It builds it.
That's why they named him Cedric the Entertainer. Look at him now. He's one of the biggest.
That's the one you pulled out?
You want to know how funny she is? You already know. But I got to tell you like something that people won't know this unless you're like hanging out with me like we're friends. Like I wouldn't say it on stage or whatever.
Right.
We're in bed watching Kings of Comedy
a
long time ago. And I fucking love Cedric the Entertainer.
Right.
I'm powerless.
Right.
And she does not understand black comics.
Yeah.
At all. Like I have to translate. Like
yeah.
She came upstairs and she goes, why do you have it on that channel? And it was the Cat Williams special, but she thought it was stuck on like a Korean fucking, like when you check into a hotel, it's like Saudi television because you're in Vegas. Yeah. She just says like, that's how you know, nigga, that you the same as a real motherfucker. You want to keep it real, nigga? When the policeman pulls you over and you're with Suge Knight and you're the nigga that gets arrested, you have a motherfucking problem. That's how you... And she's like, what are you doing? What are you watching? Get it off that first Cat Williams try and now that fuck yeah!
I could hear Cat Williams there. That's perfect.
So we're watching it, and it's Cedric going, I got a nephew come up to me and say, he wants it from now on. You got to call me delicious. I go, my I'm a grown-ass man. I can't call a motherfucker delicious. My wife goes, okay, Cedric the Entertainer. It's fucking, like, never. I'd seen it.
Jealous. I wish my wife was funny.
Yeah, she really is not at all.
No, my wife is not funny. And all she does, her only things that she gets laughs at are making fun of me to other people. And then I hear the whole room laugh, so I don't enjoy any of her humor. I'm the object of it.
My wife this morning, we were talking, I have a black guy with red hair Hall of Fame. Your hamstrings coming?
Yeah, just
you want
fucking,
some ice?
no.
I get you ice right now.
No ice. Ice is done. Ice is old.
You want a hot thing?
Compression. I'm wearing compression tights.
You look like you got a fucking blood clot and you're about to fly. I don't know why I said that like Colin. Look at you.
Flying like the Lakers do. They all wear their...
Look at you walking around with I don't want to say the name of a product. Fucking pay me. You want me to say the name of your shit?
Is anything ever going to happen for Colin with his Twitter?
That's amazing.
Is he going to get something?
I would say it's the actual best follow on Twitter.
Oh, by far.
At I am Colin
And to
Quinn.
watch the people get upset with him is amazing.
You know, gang, I think at the end of the day, we can all agree that Muammar Gaddafi was a man that had some out there ideas, but really just misunderstood, right? And people are like, I like my favorite response. He retweets the hate responses. My favorite one is, if you love Egypt so much, why don't you fucking kill yourself and move there? Like they got the order wrong. Yeah, so my wife is funny, like crazy funny, like insane funny. And she's actually incredibly smarter than I am. So like my last special, Happy and a Lot, that she wrote the entire 60 minutes, like there's just words that I would never think of and
So what you do, you conceptualized everything, then she went back and rewrote it?
No, I wake up, she's an insomniac, she hands me a notebook and goes, I think this will work. It's about irony and how people that are ironic are just assholes. And it's like single page.
I agree with her on that.
And it's in my special, like people are like, that fucking irony thing's amazing. And I didn't write it. I would never think that, because it's a weird concept. It's not weird. It's a great concept, but it's not one it's not down the middle. Let's put it that way. Like if I'm wearing a Hello Kitty t-shirt, it's because I love the fuck out of Hello Kitty. I don't think anything's so bad that it's good.
I used to remind.
I watched Showgirls again last night.
Can I just say a joke?
So bad it's good. No, it's not. You like it. You keep watching.
Exactly.
I was in Pluto Nash. I didn't get through it. I was in it. I never saw the end of it. It's so bad, it's bad.
In England, I used to perform in England a lot, and they say that Americans don't get irony. And I used to have a joke where I said, Americans don't get irony, and if you explain to me what it is, I'll tell you why we don't get it.
That's a good joke.
And it's I get that though, but that's not true because there are some things that well, I guess you're right.
I bet my wife easily could make $100,000 a year punching up people's specials before they took it out.
Can I? Is she available?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ralphie May came up to me at Kevin and Bean and goes, I saw your special. Goddamn, I knew your wife was funny, but I know it was a motherfucking callback machine. Jesus Christ. That was a callback clinic, J. Moore. I don't give a fat baby's dick. I don't give a fat baby's dick about jokes, but those callbacks were on point. Delicious like a barbecue on a fucking summer's day with mayonnaise, Playboy.
I like Ralphie May. Our only relationship is through Twitter.
Hey, man. Like Ralphie will sling it. He don't give a fuck. I love
He's not afraid.
He's fearless.
He is pretty fearless. There's a few guys that actually say what they mean and mean what they say and aren't afraid. I'm impressed by you because.
Okay, I will.
Okay. What did we get to? Okay, I will.
My wife was 5 years old. She had to write a book for school, like a kid's book, and it was a heart that was broken down the middle, crying, and it said, "Please love me." Next page, same heart. "Please love me." It's like 7 pages of this heart crying with a crack through it. "Please love me," and the last page. Another heart was in there, and it just said, "Okay, I will." So I got "Okay, I will" tattooed.
Because you basically...
Whatever the fuck you want. Okay, I will. Everything's okay. We're together. We got this.
Wow, sounds like you got a pretty strong relationship.
Yeah, you on the other hand. Let's talk about the baby. They say a baby, really, it's what, aside from money... having a child really can be the biggest wedge in a relationship and just drive two people in different directions. But us, it made us...
It's hard.
We're good at it.
I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it is.
Like, let's have a baby. We're married, and then everything will be better. And it's like,
No, I didn't
oh no,
think- I didn't
now
think
we only have
everything
2
would
hours
be
of sleep,
better.
and we're crazy.
Yeah, and my wife loves sleep. I don't need sleep. I can sleep 4 hours a night.
Me,
3, 2. I'm fine.
yeah,
I can figure it out.
That's weird.
I know where to find sleep. I'll sneak it. I'll
You're like a
pass
Navy
out on
SEAL.
the
Yeah.
couch. Yeah,
You're a good napper.
Yeah,
Catch up.
wherever I need it, I'll get it. But her, she needs to be in bed at a certain time, and the baby just wakes her up sometimes. I'll look at her sometimes in the morning. She'll be like, I haven't slept in 6 hours. She's like, she had me up 4 times. Here, just take her. And I'm like,
That's
okay.
when you go, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always like, whatever you
We
want.
first brought the baby home, right?
But
I went right back to you, but you'll like this.
What's that?
My wife was up. For some reason, the first day we had the baby home, I slept for 12 hours. Like, I've never slept better in my life. Like, no Xanax, no Ambien, just like, oh, wow, we have a big... And from like 7 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock in the morning, my wife goes, honey. No, you know what it was? I went to take a nap. It was like 4:35. And at 4:30 in the morning, my wife goes, like, looked like she had an exploding cigar. Like, she's all fucked up. Like, just when their energy, visually, you just see like a cartoon exploding cigar face. She goes, honey, do you think you could watch the baby? And I was like, yeah, how long have I been out? She goes, 12 hours. And I was like, oh, no, of course. So he's screaming.
Yeah, I know
so
that.
I put him in his car seat, and I put him in the bathroom, and I went to bed. I went back to bed.
The fuck's wrong with you?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong could happen to that person. That's what everybody says. No bad. I slept for like another hour and 10 minutes, and I went in, and he was fucking sacked out in his car seat in the bathroom right next to our bed.
You're horrible.
Why is that horrible?
I don't know.
I know, it seems horrible, but if you really think it through, it's really neat. It's like Boy Scout, like be prepared, like do your thing.
Yeah, but the baby,
Was he going to fall out of a fucking car seat?
No, but
The
he
earth's gonna tilt?
probably needed soothed and needed, was crying.
Yeah, and for 12 hours, nothing worked. So what am I going to like? On the 13th hour, I'm going to show up and go, hey, I'll try holding him.
Yeah. I figure it out. I'm like a Navy SEAL, or not a Navy SEAL, but I'm like pragmatic when it comes to the baby's crying. I'm like, I got this. I can figure this out. I will try 150 things until I figure out what it is. And sometimes it's just like I'll sit on like an exercise ball, one of those physiology balls, physiotherapist balls, and just bounce up and down with the baby on my lap. Like I will do what. And
Be honest. When you're doing that, you're thinking to yourself, "This is such a good core workout." I know you.
No, I sing I don't know any nursery rhymes, so I make up songs. And every song I sing to the baby is like, it's just like me improving, like just, I'm doing stream of consciousness. I'm like,
fine.
Okay. Is it fine when I'm singing songs? Like my wife walks in and I'm going, don't shake the baby. You'll go to jail.
Yes.
Don't shake the baby.
All fine.
She'll get a tramp stamp. Baby doesn't understand. Okay. Well, that's what they've told me. They're like, you got to start like every time I get out of the shower and I'm naked, every time I like do dick tricks in front of my wife. Right. I do the helicopter or whatever.
Why wouldn't you be naked coming out of the shower?
Yeah.
That was a weird statement.
Well, because sometimes I do
every time I get out of the shower, I'm naked.
Yeah.
What?
I should have ended it there. That should have been the end of that.
So why are you naked around the baby? Is that what you're
Well,
going?
she's
I'm
like
still naked around my 4-year-old.
She's like, you can't do the helicopter in front of the baby. Like you got to stop.
I disagree.
You don't think when's it gonna start fucking her up?
Oh, it's a girl.
Yeah.
But she's a baby. She's not like 3.
Yeah, but at what point is she gonna go? I remember my earliest memory was Dad doing the helicopter.
My wife and I have the same thing with this, and I guess Corey agrees because she chimed in, and she rarely speaks during the podcast, so she's fired up about this. Here's the deal: me and my son go to the beach, we shower together, and just your fucking cock is out. Your kid's standing there, his little cock is out. It's like, this is complete. We're just fucking human beings. We were at the beach.
Yeah.
You're gonna wind up at a Y. Like when I was a kid, it was like those damn Mormons with the sheets that you.
Yeah, but I think we got rid of that weirdness of showering together with men. I had that in high school where it was just like one big room that
it was
you all
like an
walked
assumed
into.
thing. And then when I went to high school, like my age and your age, you didn't go to school and shower with kids.
I did in high school. It was so creepy, and I'm so glad I never had to. At college, I ran track at Pitt. I had to shower with the Pitt basketball team. You know what that was like?
Tell me.
That's why I showered with a bathing suit on. They were.
No, you didn't.
Have you ever seen Bobby Martin's dick? Holy shit.
How do you think I get the rose petals in the driveway?
My God.
Goddamn callback factory, Playboy.
It was...
Who changes the most diapers?
She does. In the beginning, it was me because she had a C-section, so I was doing a lot.
Don't you think that's like the best time? Because these older dads, a generation above us, are like, I never changed a diaper.
My dad had five kids. He changed 50 diapers, he said, in his life.
Like, you don't, like, that's the most private, special, quiet, sweet, beautiful time.
I changed 50 diapers in 2 days. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Your kid shits a lot. It's amazing. Because you give her sausage and peppers all the time.
I don't give her sausage. She's on the paleo diet. She's pure protein.
Natasha Leggero's got that great joke that she doesn't even use anymore.
Oh, you told me this. It's an incredible joke.
Having a kid is like getting a DUI from the universe. And I did a gig with her and Whitney Cummings. Like, we all had this weird corporate gig in Palo Alto.
What was Whitney's great joke?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of her stand-up. Honestly, I just haven't seen it. And then I said to Natasha Leggero, I go, I'm just coming out of a massage, so I'm wearing a fucking robe. Whitney's on the elliptical. She wants her ass bigger for some reason. She had I know why. She had a new boyfriend. Kerry Rhodes from the NFL.
Who was?
He's a safety from the NFL that everybody thinks is gay.
Right.
And I go, Kerry Rhodes is gay. She goes, nah, when he's fucking me, he's not. And I was like, you know what? Fucking game over, done. Fair enough. But he's a brother, so she wanted a bigger butt, I guess, because he wants a bigger butt on her.
Oh, I see.
And Natasha was getting a massage as I was leaving my massage. Meanwhile, we all have a show in like an hour and a half, and we're all fucking in bathrobes or sweating. And I said to Natasha, I go, you have one of my favorite jokes of all time. And she's like, I go, in the pantheon of jokes, I love this one. And she just looked at me like, she was very nice, but it was like, to her, it was just a joke. Like, never.
Whitney Cummings has a great joke. I was just remembering. She probably doesn't use it. She said, and I hope I don't get it wrong. I love the joke. I remember hearing it. I was like, that's brilliant. Because I've always tried to write jokes. It was about a DJ. And she said, being a DJ is,
So
I'm fucking up.
No, I'm already in.
I know.
Just being a DJ is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
in the world.
and it was something like being a DJ is like being a DJ and it's like being a valet parker and acting like it's your car. You know, playing someone else's music. It's
like it.
But I'm fucking it up. But I just remember, like, that's brilliant. I always tried to do this joke about a DJ, and I never worked. Never worked about how I was in Austin, Texas. There was a line like 5 times around the block to see this DJ because it was his record release party. And I said, I made mixtapes in high school.
If I'd only known.
Yeah. That's all this guy's doing.
Or like Paulie D from like the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
He'll get like 50 grand.
Yeah, I
DJ
know.
in
Don't.
Vegas.
You're going to get me more angry. Stop. I'm trying to
Why does this
hold
bother
the bitterness down.
You know,
Contain
the old
the
expression,
bitterness.
People have midlife crises.
I'm having it.
Because of the old.
Because they have no career.
Whose song is it? Is That All There Is? The famous old song.
Right.
And then they freak out. Like, is that all there is? But I'm always like, is that all there is? Okay, cool. Let's go. Like, it's fucking great. Like, just this.
Yeah. I should.
Nick Swartzen cancels. It's cool.
You
I
get
get
Eddie
Eddie
Ifft.
Ifft. He's got a bingo
Even
bus for
better.
60 grand.
Even better. Let's keep talking about name some of the jokes you love.
Whitney Cummings had a joke. Guys, we don't let you come on our face because we like it. We let you come on our face because we think you're going to break up with us.
That's a good joke, too. One of my favorite jokes of all time, Arj Barker.
These aren't. I thought we were doing.
When you were saying
Whitney and Natasha.
No, but you said Natasha had one of your favorite jokes of all time.
Natasha has one of my jokes that I like the most, and that is having a child is like getting a DUI from the universe.
That's a great joke.
And she doesn't even have a child.
Arj Barker,
that she
one of
knows
the greatest,
of.
One of the best jokes I've ever heard is Arj said, my friend said, Arj, you better settle down. You're starting to get old. You should settle down. And he goes, are you kidding me? If this showbiz thing goes well, my wife hasn't even been born yet. That is one of my.
All my favorite jokes are like long. Like I like that.
I like great one-liners.
And Norm was just on.
Remove Mitch
Letterman.
Hedberg from the equation because he's like the king of those. But like those.
Jump out the note. I like when. Yeah, well, we can't do Hedberg. We'll be here all day. But Norm Macdonald was just on David Letterman.
I heard he cried. He was so upset.
He cried, and it was like really like beautiful.
Yeah.
But he had a great joke about like I don't know if you guys are here. He goes, I got no problem with North Korea. I never lay in bed. They try to scare you on the news, you know. He goes, but I never woke up like, North Korea. I hope they don't get me, you know? And like nobody really laughed, but did you hear Letterman like cackling in the background? And you realize it's just with Norm, it's all, you are being fucking played. When you think he's bombing, it's all a big setup to the fucking, in a year, he's going to have the perfect special ever.
You might as well sit with Norm and just keep a smile on your face because you don't know where you are in the joke.
He goes, I'm not afraid of Iran, you know, or Iraq or North Korea, you know. I'll tell you a country I don't like. It's Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs, but at the beginning of our last century, Germany decided to have a war against the world. And what's weird is it was close. You think like it'd be like 5-minute war, you know, but it was actually it was almost tied. And about 50 years go by, and Germany goes, hey, let's have another war against the world. And they almost won that one, too. Because you would think everybody in the world would go, hey, Germany, we're not going to let you have a country anymore. Who are you, Mars? Just fucking, I just love, it was, you would think it'd be over in 5 minutes, but it was close.
Did you hear him talking on the Russell Brand podcast with him and Russell Brand when he was talking about how he was at the party or when he played the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Yeah.
And Larry Flint said,
I'll take care of you. Right?
I'll take care of you. He goes, when a guy says, I'll take care of you, you know, you think you're going to get like, if he owns a grocery store, you think you're going to get some vegetables. But Larry Flint, you know, you think you're going to get some crazy kooky girl and you're going to get to have sex with her. And then Larry Flint's going to come in his wheelchair just whacking off.
But he does like an impression. The guy jacking off. Larry Flint fucking. That was an amazing experience watching Russell Brand and Norm Macdonald because, in my opinion, I think you and I are kind of together on this, two of the most beautiful human beings, comedically, aesthetically, just to look at. Like, you just look at Norm, you kind of can't stop looking at him. Like, people go like, hey, Norm, but like, nah, if you look at Norm Macdonald, if I just showed you a photo of Norm Macdonald, you know who he was, and I'm like, you don't remember this guy from the Cary Grant movies? You wouldn't go like, no, what? Like, he's gorgeous. And like Russell Brand, people like write him off because of the big hair and the eyeshadow when he first got going.
When I first met him,
no one's in his class.
I first met him in England doing shows, and he was the guy in the corner reading with his legs crossed with a scarf on. And I was like, who's this guy? And every comic, you know, just, you know, dismissed him like, you know, that's that guy. I think he'd done stuff on MTV in England.
Well, Eddie, I think that's a direct result of me not wanting to mix with them.
And then I saw him, and when I first saw him, I didn't like the joke. I didn't think there was a joke in there. It was more of like a reference to celebrity that he had an encounter with. But then I just saw him elaborate on things and discuss things, and he could make anything funny, and his choice of language. He's so phenomenal. He's so far above any other comic. I mean, he's in that top realm of. He's like, I watch Eddie Izzard, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I think Eddie's a good comic. But Russell Brand, if you want to learn, you want to see how the human language should be used, or the English language.
I told you this already off mic. I do an impression of Russell Brand in my act. But he's so brilliant. I can't ad lib as Russell Brand. He's too smart. I have to handwrite in my hotel room 3 sentences all the way out.
And that's what Dennis Miller does.
Him, you just get, and what?
That's what Dennis Miller does with his own act. Well, Dennis Miller,
Russell Brand just talking and doing interviews.
It's amazing.
If you go on YouTube and just type in Russell Brand Letterman, well, David, he's amazing. And when he had his show, like, and his takes on stuff are so
well thought out.
This is a magazine called Barely Legal. Or another way to look at it is almost illegal.
And then you get like, because you're like, you think he's going to make a joke like how hot, like they're 18, you can, because he talks about fucking and shagger. But then like, he's like totally, it's like, this is disgusting. Like,
and he's
barely legal.
But he has such a good perspective on things, and it's like he's.
I thought communism as a child. I looked it up in the dictionary. Essentially means sharing.
It's just fucking, his Messiah Complex special is astounding.
He's brilliant.
Che Guevara, Malcolm X, Jesus Christ, of course. Gandhi, like he fucking takes Gandhi out at the knees. Gandhi's wife was on a hunger strike.
and they were going to give her medicine. He was like, no, we're doing it. And then when he went on his hunger strike, they went to give him the medicine. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to die like she did. That's crazy. Like, he fucking threw his own.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Gandhi let his wife die.
What a dick.
Then when he went on his hunger strike, he's like, just make sure you keep giving me that medicine at about day 28.
Fuck.
So Russell Brand is my favorite, and he's the guy I want on the podcast more than anybody.
Oh, you should get him.
He did Marin, but I think he and I would bug out on the big picture, the higher power, the whatever.
Oh,
it is.
yeah, because he's an atheist, I guess. He didn't seem to be an
he's
atheist.
not an atheist at all.
He seemed agnostic.
There's something bigger than us, and we don't know what it is. But he's all like, if you do acid, like we're all connected.
Yeah. I'm on the Russell Brand thing. I think there has to be something bigger than us, but I don't believe it's any
together talking.
Yeah,
it's greater than before you came here. You were in a car. I was making oatmeal in my pantry.
But it's funny. I was agreeing with a lot of the stuff he said, and he was quoting Einstein, which, like I've always said when people ask me about religion, is I say I'm smart enough to know I'm not smart enough to understand the universe.
That's why I like agnostics like you.
That's kind of why my dog looks at my MacBook. She'll never be able to comprehend how that thing works. I don't comprehend how it works. But if I studied it, if I learned, and there are human beings that can understand. But a dog doesn't have the capability to understand the universe. I believe if we as humans don't have that capability, we don't know. We have no fucking clue. And we never will. Our brains aren't big enough to understand this thing that's so much bigger than us, so much bigger. And so I don't try. I don't beat myself up over it. I did for a while, and I just went crazy. I would sit there and read everything I could and go down these wormholes, and I just gave myself anxiety. I literally was almost like
having a child
institutionalized.
Crazy anxiety. That's why I stopped smoking pot. When you have people go, well, you're supposed to stop smoking pot when you have a fucking child.
That's when I started.
But you wind up just staring at him in the crib going like, is his chest still going up and down?
My friends told me it's fun. They're like, get high and hold the baby for a while. It's really fun.
You got to wait it out till the Legos start showing up.
I don't really smoke. I've smoked once, maybe a year. About once a year is I smoke on Doug Benson's TV show. Or Getting Doug. That's the only time I do it, and then I freak out, and then everybody thinks it's funny to watch me.
Oh, we talked about this. Because I said the fatal flaw of the podcast. Look at the little one biting.
I'm watching. It's hilarious.
Should we periscope this right now? The fatal flaw of that podcast is everybody should get high like an hour before it happens. Or
you get high
If
instantly.
you smoke at the moment, then when the podcast
It hit me 2 minutes in. I went, oh, here we go. The last time I did it.
Everybody's looking at me.
The last time we did it, I forgot that you're mic'd and the audience can hear everything you're saying.
Watch her bite the
And
orange.
I enjoy pot, but I don't like when it goes too far and I get very paranoid and everything. So I look at the guy next to me, this guy Kasim G, who's a YouTuber, and I go, look, I'm having a really good time right now, but I don't know how much I've smoked because he just keeps smoking. I said, I don't, and I'm worried that I'm having fun now, but I'm going to go home and this is going to go way wrong. Have I smoked too much? And I hear the audience laughing, so I look over to see what everyone's saying, and I realize that they're all looking at me because they're all laughing at the fact that I'm losing my shit.
The question you're answering, the question you're asking is an indicator of how fucked up you are.
Right. And Kasim,
you're asking a stranger, how much have I smoked for like 4 hours from now? How am I going to
That's
be
what I wanted
when
to
you're
know.
no longer around me?
Right. When I don't have an audience.
In the future.
Right. And the audience is looking at me like, this is amazing. Yeah. He has no idea that we're all listening to his conversation. And then the first time I did his show, I just had a panic attack in the middle of the show, and in my head went,
wait,
run.
You said you smoke once a year, so that means the last 2 times you smoked have been on Doug Benson's podcast.
Yeah. And he likes me to do that because he likes me. He goes, will you come freak out on my show? I go, I don't want to freak out. I'm like, I want to have a good time. I'll do it. I need the press. I need the fucking exposure. Let's do this thing.
I need the exposure.
People will be like, hey, I got this TV show where you get like, we get 10 million hits. You're just going to need to take a baseball bat in your ass. All right, I haven't done it yet, but I'll do it for the. I got a Kickstarter going on right now.
I do. GoFundMe, jmohr.com. Help my family if you could. And it ain't show friends, it's show business. I'm calling on my show friends. You guys, please.
Fans are the best at these kind of things.
I hope so.
Your celebrity friends, they never come through on this shit, but your fans will. and they're good people.
I did not give a penny to the bingo bus.
I don't care. I didn't.
I told
expect
you
it.
that's idiotic.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give anything, because I know if I called you and said I need you to come with me over to the valley, we got to move all this shit. I know you would come in 1 second. You're a good dude. Don't sweat.
I'd rather do something. All right, there's Mexicans. I would have picked up at Home Depot and sent them.
That's who put the rose petals on my driveway.
I'm trying to think of that.
Chicago.
Ty Pennington gave $500 to the bingo bus. That was the only celebrity that gave.
That guy's a billionaire.
Ty's the greatest guy alive. Have you ever had Ty
that
on your
him?
show? Oh, you've had him on.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great.
He was fun.
He's so much fun. He's such a good dude.
$500? That's like Oprah giving you like $100.
Because
like,
you just
come on,
pointed
really?
and it was like, is that him? You need to re-interview him because you need to get to the bottom of Ty. It doesn't sound like you got to Ty.
No, it was very superficial and
you need to find
surface because it wasn't even in the garage where this is where like we get our fucking dirt under our nails in here. It was actually at my radio office, like how you did it the other time.
No. You get Ty's an interesting guy.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Ty's he's a good
guy's
dude.
been arrested.
Yeah.
How many times?
I think once. I think he just got 1 DUI. He's driving a car.
Not a bingo bus.
Yeah. If
So
you're
you're
driving
done
a
with
car,
the raising money for that.
we're done. We are now in the.
Who have you gone to that you could not have? Because you could also put a Zoom recorder in a backpack and just take a flight to Denver to interview John Elway.
Exactly.
So who have you actually gone to? Who so far have you gone, well, thank God I had the bus.
Do you mean to interview?
Yeah, that's why you got it. To make a mobile recording.
Tuesday, I'm going to interview all the guys from Jackass.
Where are they?
They're going to be at the Ice House performing.
Yeah, but you could have just put a Zoom recorder in your car and gone there.
Sure, but here was the argument. I used to ask Jimmy Kimmel to do my show, and he would say no. It was like, Jimmy Kimmel's not doing my fucking show. But so I talked to Jimmy's manager, and he said, yeah, maybe if you go to Jimmy's office, you can bring a Zoom recording. I said, if you've never done my show, or you did do it, but it was at Jim's house when it was the old show.
Yeah, you weren't there.
What made our show was coming to what was called the Rape Cottage. April Macy called it that. Was you came to the cottage in the beach. There was a party going on at the house. It created an environment. It put me in a different seat. It actually gives me a little bit of authority, being that it's my place and you come onto my place and there's a party. Like there's a keg on my bus. There's a, it's like a nice living room if you look inside of it.
There was a lot of people when I did the Talking Shit podcast.
Yeah.
So I was like, and the businessman in me, all I'm thinking is like, this is way too much overhead.
Well, none of them are paid.
That's another thing that's weird. It's like you got all these people.
They're going to get paid.
Far Side, who I call Andrew because that's his name.
Far Side, yes.
And Machete. And there's some girl taking pictures.
That was Lilith. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of people, and that's what made the show, and it's this cast of characters.
And then that Jason guy that people hate.
Yeah, well, they hated him because of you and Bob Saget.
Me?
Yeah.
What did I do?
To this day, he still thinks he, ruined the episode. And which he did. He did.
What was the thing he kept saying?
I don't know. He was in a fight with Jim.
Oh, he said to me and my wife, he goes, you guys are, but it wasn't bad. No, he's just a strange guy where you're not sure what he's bringing to the table.
So he's a Carl Pilkington, like Ricky Gervais is Carl Pilkington.
Yeah.
That's what he is, and he's amazing.
He goes, you and your wife, you guys are so great together. You should do something together. And Jim goes, well, they've made a baby, Jason. I'm not sure. What else you want them maybe to write a pilot?
They've become Russell Brand and not
they've
Jimmy.
made life.
You're mixing up British and Australian.
They've made a baby together. Instead of ejaculating a beautiful white ribbon of a fuvula
To this day, Jason regrets that.
But I don't really. Well, you need to let Jason know I've never thought about it again. I have nothing against the guy. Oh, I know what it was. He was fucking hammered.
That's what it was.
And it was like, and he was either in, he wasn't in. Look, my mother used to tell me, JJ, don't hover. And I never got it. And then you're a grown up and you have an office and somebody they don't come in your office. They just kind of hang out halfway in, halfway out. And they're like, hey.
That's good advice your mom gave you.
Hey, do you think, fucking either come in, close the door, and fucking tell me,
great advice.
Do you want Don Mattingly in the third hour today of your radio show? And beat it.
Yeah.
But Jason was like, not on the show, not on the show. And I was like, I need this guy either in or out.
Yep. And what happened was he was on the way to the show. I was out of town. He was on the way to the show. He stopped at my house. He has a key to my house. He went in my house and took tequila out of my refrigerator or freezer and took it and drank like all this. And I went, who said you could go in my house and take? So I yelled at him on the way there. So because I yelled at him, he doesn't handle that well.
And he arrived hammered.
So he drank it all on the way there, like freaking out because I yelled at him, and then he ruined the show. He's not a professional entertainer. He's a busboy at a restaurant. And Jim and I found him hilarious, and we put him on a show, and it was a lot of it. That was part of the humor, is that we've got this guy that you never know. He's a wild card. You never know what's going to happen.
But he's also a guy you can go, hey, wear this gorilla suit to LAX.
Exactly. I dressed him up. Remember Kevin and Bean's April Foolishness when I dressed him?
They were in naked tuxedos.
Yeah, I painted him in a tuxedo. Like I can do that stuff to him all the time. I make him roll down.
You mean Andrew?
Yeah.
Get a talking shit tattoo on his neck.
Yeah.
Who does that? That's sweet boy, Andrew Furtado.
Here's the best.
Like you made him your bitch.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's out working with like Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer, like a producer. And then, like, if he takes his shirt off in the summertime, they're going to be like, why is there a couch on your neck?
He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it. But I'll tell you a funny story off air about that.
Listen, on air, May 20.
First.
Chicago
Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory in Chicago. Go see Eddie Ifft.
Are you a Laugh Factory guy? Do you work for Jamie at all?
I don't go out. I only go if somebody's going to pay me.
That's what I used to say.
Like I'm doing the Improv May 23rd here in Hollywood next Saturday.
For what?
For money.
Oh, you're doing your own show.
Saturday, me, for an hour and a half. Okay. No opening act. I go up. I just do an hour and a half. I rip it.
Why don't you?
And Homegirl will be
Let me tell you how to do something nice. This would make Jay Mohr. You are already
Mohr,
a good guy.
Go ahead.
Jay Mohr.
Mohr.
My mouth's not working today. Neither's my hamstring. This will make you an even nicer guy. And I forget to do this a lot, and I should do it. Because I always just think I'm a loser in this business and nobody wants anything. But you just said, just me for an hour. Call some comic that it would make his fucking life and give him the 5 minutes before you. Because there are comics that it would make their life to say they opened for you.
Because all the people, the closest friends I've lost were opening acts that spazzed out.
You learned your lesson
so I'm
from
like,
that.
you know what? From now on, it's the clubs.
Yeah,
they can book the opening acts no matter where I am.
I got you. Because
every opening act no longer speaks with me because they don't like staying at Ritz-Carlton hotels on the road. Apparently, that was a douche move on my part. My coaching tree is strong. My opening acts are fucking Ralphie May, Nick Swartzen, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura.
Holy shit.
Dr. Ken.
Jeez.
Dean Del Rey is up and running still.
Jesus.
Those are the guys that I chose to follow. like these guys, Bert and Ralphie get standing ovations.
I think I always like to go on after the hardest acts ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes you a better comic.
Dean Del Rey starts singing Nuts to Butts, and they all stand up, and you're like...
Nuts to Butts?
It's a whole bit. It's a whole thing where he's singing, because he used to be in, like, bands. He was an actual...
Wait, he sings?
Like, you auditioned for, like, Velvet Revolver.
Oh.
Like, he was down to, like, the final 10. And then they went, oh, Scott Weiland's available? Never mind, forget it, everybody. You know, like, acting.
Yeah.
It's between you and another guy. The other guy's Owen Wilson, so you're not going to get it if he feels like doing this.
Not to name drop, but I went to, but I'm going to. I went to dinner the other night with Mariel Hemingway, who's a friend of mine. And she was talking about that, about it coming down to that, not getting it. And she was talking about how hard the business is. And I'm like,
you're a Hemingway.
You're a Hemingway. You've been nominated for Academy Awards. You've hosted Saturday Night Live. It's hard for you. I need to quit.
Look, at least you're not Margot Hemingway.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Oh, she died?
She committed suicide.
Oh, I don't like that joke at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If that was an Eddie joke, that's something I would say.
Yeah.
You're too nice for
I
that.
just knew it was like Jose and like Ozzy Canseco. Hold on.
I just figured
I really need
everything.
people to know I did not think it was funny that this person committed suicide at all.
Now,
I just knew she had a sister.
10 years ago, would you have made that joke and thought it was funny?
No.
See, I would have.
15, yeah.
Yeah. I think the child has made me a better person that I probably wouldn't make that joke right now.
You know, Buddy Hackett,
especially not because I like Mariel so much. But I mean,
when did Margot Hemingway commit suicide?
Mariel's got an amazing story. You should watch her documentary.
4 years ago? How did she do it?
No, longer than that, I think. She had 7 people in her family commit suicide. She's an amazing story.
They say women do things that don't ruin their looks. when they commit suicide. Like guys blow their heads off.
Oh, really? I never.
Yeah, women do like pills in like a warm tub and like slit their wrists.
I never heard that.
Aesthetically pleasing post-mortem.
Do you watch the show Shameless?
Not really.
Start from episode 1. It's the greatest show on television ever in the history of the world.
I'll go with Mad Men, but okay.
Watch Shameless.
I have seen Shameless a bunch.
It's amazing.
I'm just not sure what's happening a lot of the time because I went in late.
You got to.
I like Happy-ish right now with Coogan.
You know who's on that?
And I like Nurse Jackie.
My guy is on that.
Machete's on that.
Is he?
Yeah.
Machete's not in anything. No.
Hemingway.
Chris Wilde was just in. Do you know Chris Wilde?
Yeah. Margot Hemingway committed suicide how?
96.
In 1996? How did she do it?
Going like this. I had to do it. You didn't like my old Mother Hubbard joke?
I didn't get it.
Is it old Mother Hubbard? Oh, wait. What's the joke? No.
Is this Whitney's or Natasha's?
No, it's so-and-so's dead. How did they die? Going like this. You don't remember that? It's
No.
like a children's game.
Sounds good.
By the way, do you ever read any children's stories or nursery rhymes? They're horrible. They're all about death and murder.
You know what's great about reading to your kid is they have no idea when you're doing racist voices.
Do you do that?
Oh, fuck yeah. I won't even do it here because I don't want. That's private. And Go Dog Go, when they get to the tree for the dog party, you get to read it all as Keith Morrison from Dateline. What is up there on top of that tree?
See, this is part of the secret life of Jay Mohr that people need to know about.
What will happen when they get to the top?
How did you start doing voices and impressions? Because you really enjoy it. You do it.
I saw the movie Stripes at 10 years old at the Jersey Shore. Came home, and all my friends were like, "What did you do when you're at the shore?" I'm like, "I saw this movie." And I did like the entire movie for my friends in my friend's garage. So I had to act out each part. And I realized these people I've never had their attention like this in my life.
Oh, it was the attention.
Because
Because when you do impressions, you do them so good. And to watch them on stage, it's amazing. And I love impressions.
Buddy.
You know, a lot of people don't like impressions. I love impressions. And I love a good one. Like when somebody takes it on a tangent and changes it.
Mine are all
But
things
when you
that
do them
people
to
have
me
actually
personally,
happened.
it makes me uncomfortable.
Why?
I don't know. Because I'm like, I don't want to look at you. I can, like, I hear you on the podcast. I like it.
The Comedy Bang Bang podcast?
If I'm listening to your podcast, I like to hear your impressions.
I understand
If
that.
I'm sitting across from you, I'm uncomfortable.
I did the Comedy Bang Bang.
Right.
Scott Aukerman, and I started doing impressions.
I think
and
he
goes,
hates me.
I think he hates me too because he goes, "Oh, he's doing the face. Look." And as I'm doing the impression, I'm like, "That's what you say when you're patronizing something." Like,
Yeah.
I was in my own head so hard.
Oh,
and they had this guy come in to do like improv, which I didn't give a shit. Like I'm happy to be on Comedy Bang Bang, but the guy's improv was a guy that won't stop showing you pictures of his baby, and it was fucking so stupid that I decided like I'm gonna like join in. I'm like, "Oh, the baby's wearing a little hat," and Scott and like they just fucking
iced you.
Yeah, but like I'm the guest.
Yeah, but
like I wish I could do it over just so this guy could have died on the vine with this fucking awful thing.
have you ever snapped on someone in the middle of something where you feel like you're being like
No.
I have. I've snapped a couple times where I'm like, if you're gonna patronize, and I just like, you know, I'll stand up and walk out.
How did she do it?
OD'd on phenobarbital.
OD'd on fucking barbiturates.
Yeah.
Margot. You know what? Open casket. I was right.
It was sad. You should watch.
Guys do it
documentary.
violently. We want to fucking make our faces cave in when we kill ourselves.
Oh, I've never thought about. I've never considered
It's
suicide.
against the law. It's very strange. We penalize people for doing it poorly.
Yeah, I've never considered it.
If you commit suicide,
You ever consider it?
no, you get away with it. I mean, I thought it like how I would do it, yeah, but I've never had days where I'm like, maybe today's the day I don't really need to be on Earth.
I think if I killed someone accidentally, then I would think about it. You know, like if I crashed into someone and killed, then it would be like I'd have a hard time living with that.
You know what I've thought well and hard about if something ever happened that I won't even say out loud, then I would just live my life in a way where eventually, like, you're gonna get fucking killed.
Oh,
keep
you're
doing
gonna
shit
do
like
that. Yeah,
like I'll
you're-
just barroom brawl and drinking
Yeah.
and fucking fighting.
Yeah,
and
I could do that.
Like, I'm just gonna take this car and T-bone the next fucking person that beeps at me because I don't give a shit because you know I do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I'd like
no.
to live like that though. I have dreams of that.
Let's go do it right now.
No, don't you ever like
Right now, it's Monday morning.
What
You're
was the
listening to this
Michael?
podcast.
What's the
Stand
Michael
up.
Douglas film?
Falling down.
I have that. I think every man can relate to that. No,
You
I'd
are
like to falling down.
literally
a step away from
a
that.
pack of gum from that happening. You are like one fucking like, I wanted watermelon kiwi. This is strawberry banana. Crack. Maybe if the sign was written in fucking English, I could fucking read it.
I walked out of a U-Haul the other day to my wife in the car, and I said, go in there and talk to the man, or you're going to see the police here in 2 minutes.
You said that to your wife.
I go in there and talk to him because
you sound like a good partner.
No, here's the thing. I set that up wrong. What happened was I'm arguing with the guy.
When I come out of the shower, I'm naked.
I really am not doing well today. I go in. I'm fighting with the guy.
We got one we never aired, but you weren't doing well.
Yeah.
This was funny.
I'm fighting with this guy at U-Haul so badly.
Oh, okay.
I go out to the car and I tell my wife, go in and you finish talking to him.
Or the police will come.
Or the police are going to come because I was this close to snapping on the guy where the police would have been there.
I had said to
I was trying to get the guy to punch me. I was that man.
I sat on a stoop in Manhattan once, and when the coffee's too hot and you got to pour a little bit out, and what I didn't realize was it looked like just I was sitting on a stairwell in Manhattan, like by the MoMA, the museum, and I poured it. But there was a grate, and underneath that grate, 1 story below, there were guys that had just done like tile work, but it just looked like I was just pouring it like into like the sewer, you know. And this guy comes down and goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know how fucking... And I go, I am so sorry. I did not know. I thought it... And he just wouldn't stop. And I'm like, no, I don't think you heard me. I am really sorry. You are right. I am sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was just a grate that went into the sewer. He goes, you fucking bitch. And he didn't stop. And then finally I stood up. I go, if we keep talking, the fucking police are coming.
Yeah.
And we're both leaving in a squad car. And he just turned around and he walked away. So I've said that exactly.
I had that with Greg Giraldo.
Really?
Yeah. Greg Giraldo, one night I walked into the Comedy Cellar.
This is like a week ago, too.
Yeah. I walk into the Comedy Cellar, and he's shit-faced, sitting with Patrice and all the guys.
I thought he was sober all the time.
No. Are you kidding?
No. I thought he was trying to be. He was. He had sobriety, didn't he?
Good.
No, I'm being serious. He did
for
have
like
sobriety.
a week at a time. That's what brought him. That's what brought him down.
I know he died of drugs, but I thought that was his whole thing. Was he was sober and he's like, oh.
I walk into the Comedy Cellar and he goes, and they're like, people like tapped him and pointed at me, and he goes, oh, there he is.
And the cellar's tiny.
It's tiny, and I was also a young comic
in the Comedy Cellar.
and I'm sitting there, and it's like walking into Tough Crowd. You know, and I walk in. And
but is that a fair description
it's very tough.
You could, if I went, hey, do me a favor right now, jump. You'd go, I can't.
Yeah, it's
packed. My head on
and
stuff.
There's, for anybody that doesn't know, it's been talked about on every podcast. There's a table that's comics only. There's a sign on it that says comics only. There's some of the best comics in New York City, and Giraldo's in there. I just remember Patrice being there, and maybe Keith Robinson and a couple others, and he goes, oh, look who it is. Look who it is, the guy who stole my joke. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, you stole my joke. He goes, I'm sitting at home with my baby watching Premium Blend on Comedy Central, and who comes on but little Eddie Ifft doing my bit? And he goes, I was so shocked. He goes, I almost threw my baby or dropped my baby or something like that. And I go, what joke? So he tells me his joke, and I go, it's not the same joke. And we start arguing it, but I can't win in front of everybody. And the funny thing about it, so we start fighting and arguing, and I'm going, it's not the same joke, blah, blah, blah. We're going on, and he's like, fuck you, that's my joke, blah. And I said, clearly it's not, but no one will defend me because they're enjoying the fight. You know, it's like a schoolyard. They're like, fight, fight, fight. I'm like, guys, help me out. He's telling, he's like, even down to like, it was a joke. I remember the joke. It was like, I said, I'm on the internet. It's right when the internet came out. I was like, I'm on the internet all the time. I'm the queen of the lesbian chat lines. I'm on there all the time going, play with my tits, blah, blah, blah. Now touch my dick. Oh, backspace, backspace, backspace. I mean vagina or something like that. Some shitty joke. And Giraldo had something, and he goes, I even type in mine. And I go, you don't own typing like air typing. You know, that's like going, I play guitar.
You would have to, that's the whole thing when people accuse people of stealing bits. Like, what you're saying is, I went and saw this person do stand-up comedy. So already it's 99% impossible that I went and saw a show of another comedian and sat and watched them.
Well, the truth is, though, but I worked with Greg all the time.
I mean, today, in 2015, you saying like, hey, you stole that bit from that person means that I went to a comedy club and watched another. The only time I'm ever in a club is when it's me and a guy that's maybe a local guy or Dean Del Rey. So already we're operating at 99% impossible. And then I watched him do a joke, and I said, I'm going to do that. I like the way the audience responded to that. I'm going to take what he said, and I'm just going to say it. I'm going to steal that joke. So, like, when you say, like, to the listener, like, hey, that guy stole that fucking bit, like, you really...
Yeah, but I think if you can, and it's also like
you guys had just thought of the same thing that was similar. Hold on, you thought of a similar fucking
it's
thing.
parallel.
It's happened all the time.
And I knew exactly how the joke came about, and I knew I have a joke where an old joke where I used to say, if a hooker gets raped, isn't it just shoplifting? And I can't tell you how many people have done that joke, and then people have reprimanded them and said, that's Eddie Ifft joke, blah, blah, blah. Like one time...
you should go, no, it's not.
People, yeah, I know. Yeah. Mike DeResta told me, he's like, Jim Norton stopped me and said, don't do that, that's Eddie Ifft's joke. Then this girl one time said, you stole my joke, that's my joke. And it's like, no, one comic said to me, he goes, I have that in my notebook. I'm like, it's a parallel development. I'm not going to accuse anyone of stealing that. It's a dumb joke that came... But this joke... I was sitting in my dad's office when the internet first came out when I was like, 22 and figured out how to get on the lesbian chat lines and talk to women. And I was doing it, to jerk off and to getting girls, like I pretended like I was a woman. So I really did that. So I wrote the joke about really doing it. And, if I had sat down with Geraldo, I would have been able to explain.
You stole the air keyboard, and that's what really incensed him.
So, but it was funny. But going back to about getting angry, Geraldo calls me the next day and goes, hey, I understand you didn't steal the joke. And I go, and we almost went outside. Like I was going, let's go outside right now. Because I was with a girl like on a date and he's like doing this to me. And everybody's coming up to me going, you let him do that to you? You let him, he just made you look like a pussy in front of you. So I was so angry and I was like, fuck him. So the next day he calls me on the phone and he goes, look, I want to apologize. And I said, what? He goes, I want to apologize for, I know you didn't steal the joke. He goes, I was drunk last night. And I shouldn't have done that. And the guys were egging me on. Before you got in the club, I mentioned that I saw you. And they were all like, get him. And he goes, I feel really, he didn't say I feel really bad. He goes, so I'm saying I'm sorry. And I went, all right, Greg. I said, I accept your apology. But I go, you accused me of stealing your joke in front of the entire Comedy Cellar. With a lot of comics I respect. And now you're apologizing in front of no one.
Right. And
I said, I would appreciate it if you would apologize. And he goes, fuck you, and just starts screaming over the phone. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I was like, fuck you. And we just start yelling back and forth. And I was like, fuck you. We made up later. I mean, I had some good times with Greg after that. But I remember
a couple of mercurial young men
hanging out with him.
I wasn't there. You know why? Didn't hang out.
Exactly. That's
May
what I'm saying.
21st, Laugh Factory, Chicago. Eddie Ifft, always good to talk to you.
Always great.
You know why? Because I can fucking rely on you.
But you're a secretive guy.
Watch this. Put your name on it.
He's doing. He's such a weirdo. He's secretive.
Always does that.
What? This is how he exits.
And runs.
This is how he exits the podcast. Now I got to leave on my own. He doesn't even walk me out.
Yeah.
No, come on. He left his dogs out here. He won't do this. If he gets in his car, he's seriously the weirdest guy in the world, and there's a reason why people think he is. He's in his fucking car. He is. He's in his fucking car. No wonder people think he's secretive and weird. He's trying to be a weirdo. That hurt so bad. I just jumped up because I have a pulled hamstring. And that hurt. So he just pulled out of the driveway. Jay Mohr is seriously one of the creepiest comedians that's ever existed. Not comedians, creepiest human beings. He just pulled an Irish goodbye from his own house and just left me in his garage. I don't understand it. He left his dogs here. They went back in the house. He left his producer here. I'm sure you know what to do at this point, though, right? I don't even know how to get out. I don't know how to open his garage door. I don't know where the button is. There's a button. I could push. But he left. He just put the microphone down and left. I hope this is recording. I hope this makes his podcast. If you are his listener, don't listen anymore. But give money to his uncle, because that's a really shitty thing that happened. So give money to his he's got a GoFundMe, and it's at jmohr.com. Is that right?
You can link through there.
Yeah, you can link through there, but just do it. Give to that. That's a really sad story. But otherwise, don't support Jay in anything because he's weird. It's just creepy. He left me here. You know why? Because he doesn't want to answer the real personal questions after the show, like the stuff where we really get into it. Like I look at something like a picture over here or something, go, why do you have that? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. But I would push him and press him to tell me because because it's not on the air. And he wonders why there's all these rumors about him. Of course there's rumors about him. He gets in a car and drives off like a serial killer. This is where you find out like years later. Remember when you did the podcast and Jay left for a while and then he came back an hour later and called you? He murdered a person. He had just murdered a person after he left. So, I don't know what to do. I don't want to be weird like him. I want to say goodbye to his fans and tell them that if there's another podcast you want to come over to, you can go to Eddie Talking Shit or The Bingle Show or Wadcast Podcast if you actually enjoy CrossFit or making fun of people that do CrossFit. It's a very popular one. But go to Eddie Talking Shit. That's my favorite. All right. I think that's it. Bye, Corey. Bye. Bye, Moorheads or whatever you're called. More Ears. That's a terrible name. He should come up with a new name. Shitheads is the best. Mine are the Talking Shitheads. More Ears. Ugh. I'll tell you where your Mohr ear is right now. He's murdering a family.